If your software doesn't help you make better decisions, it's just an overhead. Stop patching spreadsheets together and build a system that works for you. You can't settle for tools that aren't built for your operation. You got to own the systems that bring clarity to your numbers. We couldn't track the gross margins clearly. We were always chasing spreadsheets and double checking our numbers. I just needed something to support managerial decisions we're trying to make.
Did you consider ERPs? What alternatives were out there for you?
Mainly we tried the spreadsheets, but we also tried QuickBooks. Nothing scaled the way we wanted it to.
What surprised you most about building with Bubble?
The speed that it can be built and altered. We went from spreadsheets to a working dashboard in months, maybe even quicker than that. And it's smooth and it's scalable.
How has your experience been with Big House?
They didn't just build an app. They really took the time to understand the logic behind the numbers. I wasn't trying to build this solo. I was building with a partner. They didn't just help me build an app. They helped me build a system of thinking, and that changed everything.
Would you hire Big House Technologies again?
Absolutely.
Hey Andres, how's it going? Thanks for taking the call. How's it going today?
It's going great. How about you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for agreeing to answer some questions about your experience with Big House Technologies. You've been a client for some months now, and I just want to see how your experience has been. Can I ask by just asking, what does Watrous Valley Ranch do, your company, and give us a few more details like size of the ranch, age, and whatever you want to share.
Okay, yeah. I work for Watrous Valley Ranch as a manager here. We have absentee owners. It's a working cattle ranch in northeastern New Mexico. We're a high elevation, low rainfall environment. We manage pretty conservatively. Our carrying capacity is about 1 cow per 78 acres, and we typically run at about 75% of that ahead of the droughts. And then we fill in on better years with custom grazing. Depending on the season, we manage anywhere from 500 to 1,200 head, and really focus on manage intensive grazing, low cost and high efficiency production. Yeah.
Cool. So Andres shared with me some videos that I'm gonna present screen for a second so everyone has a visual of what they do. So this is video number 1, and
I'm the first to clock in and the last to leave, and I ain't never had a problem rolling up my sleeves of this morning. Time my boots up 'cause I knew.
So that's like how many cows walking around?
That's probably right around 200 head of H1s, virgin heifers.
Okay, which we'll talk about. We've talked about quite a lot in the project, what that means.
Right.
And then there's this other video here where we can just see a bit more of his day-to-day. That's your son, right?
Sorry?
That was your son?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the main output of the ranch? Is it just meat, the animals?
Yeah, we're predominantly a cow-calf operation, so our biggest product is the calves that we produce from our cow herd.
Okay, great. So getting on to some of the more why we came to have a business relationship with, what were the cracks that you started seeing in your internal process?
The biggest thing is, as we added more enterprises like the heifer development and custom grazing along with the cow-calf, the systems that I was using weren't keeping up, and they weren't tracking the data beyond forecasting. So we had the data, but not in a way that helped us make solid decisions and accurately track how it was actually going throughout the year. So we couldn't track the gross margins clearly beyond the forecast. And seemed like we were always chasing spreadsheets and double checking our numbers, second guessing ourselves.
Okay. So a bunch of tracking spreadsheets, Excel. We've worked quite a bit on Excel before working on the actual tool. And there is existing software for the cattle industry. What were the issues that you saw with this off-the-shelf software, and what made you go custom?
The biggest issue is there wasn't a tool like the one we're building. Most cattle software is built for inventory or compliance, and not really for decision making on a managerial level. They tell you how many cows you have, but not how each enterprise is performing, and they don't handle depreciation, opportunity costs, economics, KPIs, stuff like that. And I just needed something to support the managerial decisions we're trying to make, and not just tracking the animal IDs.
Okay. And so you had spreadsheets, but before building something custom, what alternatives did you consider to solve the issue? Did you consider ERPs, or what alternatives were out there for you?
Mainly we tried the spreadsheets, but we also tried QuickBooks, and even talked to some consultants about building us something modular, but nothing scaled the way we wanted it to, and it seemed like we were spending more time updating the tools than making the decisions that the tools are supposed to help us make.
Okay. So let's dive into the tool that we built for you. Let me present screen again. So I'm gonna show Ranch Management Analytics. And this is the software that we built for Andres. Let me go to the dashboard. And maybe walk us through what you're looking forward to accomplish. What are the main modules that you look at? Andres?
Yeah. I mean, the main thing we want to accomplish is give clarity to all ag business, specifically livestock-focused ag businesses, and really help them lock down their numbers and get a good meter of how their business health really is, and what's making them money and what's just breaking even or costing them money. So the biggest thing on here is the forecasting.
What I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, you run through all your forecasts of what you're going to do throughout the given year based on generalizations, right? So we're not looking to make it correct down to the $1,000 or even $10,000, but just make a general plan of what you see your production year looking like, and what your costs might be, and projects, investments, all that kind of stuff. And then from there is where the tool really kicks in. On here on the dashboard, you can see that we connect to your bank accounts through Plaid, and you can allocate where costs are going, where incomes are coming in, and see how it's tracking with your forecasted versus with what the actual is. And another big part of the app is the fuel and feed inventories and tracking. This is where a lot of stuff really left you guessing. Here, as ranches, a lot of us buy things in bulk and then give it to whatever needs it, and we don't really have a good meter or gauge on exactly how much each enterprise is getting. So this is really where we stand out, in just tracking where you're at in the given year versus guessing how much cake or hay or whatever you're feeding, even fuel. It just really helps give you better clarity on your enterprises and understand how the actual gross margin of the business is, not just the forecasted version.
Uh, Great. Yeah, thanks for the run through. It's definitely been like amazing getting to learn the industry and what like the different categories of cows there are and how like a calf becomes an H1 and then it becomes an H2 and then it graduates to a cow. So that I enjoyed learning that of the industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the tool is built on Bubble. What surprised you most about building with Bubble and no code?
I think what surprised me the most is the speed that it can be built and altered. We went from spreadsheets to a working dashboard in months, maybe even quicker than that. And it's smooth and it's scalable, and with the right partner, it's a completely different experience. I think no code really changed how I think about building these kinds of tools and how effective and fast they can be.
Well, yeah, the math is very interesting, and so Andres and I often have conversations first on Excel, then we put on no code, and it sometimes it's less than 24-hour turnaround from like when we have the Excel conversation to when it's live, and yeah, no code has enabled that.
Yeah.
In that sense, how has your experience been with Big House relative to previous agencies that you worked
Um, Big House was different. In my opinion, they didn't just build an app. They really took the time to understand the logic behind the numbers. And my experience with other dev companies is they want to take your idea and repackage it. And Big House helped me translate my spreadsheets and processes into clean workflows. And I felt like I wasn't trying to build this solo. I was building with a partner and not managing a freelancer.
Wow, that means a lot to me. Andres. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, thank you for your work.
If you could go back, what would you do differently in the build process?
I definitely would have spent more time on the front end before we went to development, just locking in every calculation, back end rule and formula before scaling the interface. We've had to take quite a bit of time to rework some things that were wrong in my formulas. But the good thing about that is Bubble made it fairly easy to go back in and rework those without having to scrap the whole thing. You know, we were able to make those adjustments and fairly quickly and get things fixed.
Amazing, yeah. I can add that on our end, we obviously are external to the industry and we're learning as we build with a client and as we see what's required in the Excel, then there's some back and forth to understand the business, and that's how we grow together in terms of learning what we're building.
Absolutely.
So as CEO, how does the tool change your role and that of other CEOs of similar ranches?
I think more than anything, it's going to give a lot of clarity on what's actually happening. It's not running on gut feel anymore. I'll know what I forecasted and what the actual means. And why that changes so much is, of course, we got ranch accountants and all that stuff, but they're specifically looking at tracking for tax accounting. And what I need to know is the managerial accounting side of things. So this tool is going to change that for me big time. And it'll change the way I converse with ownership and the way we run meetings. I can pull up live enterprise margins compared year over year, and then make quick and confident decisions. And it ultimately just helps me lead better and build a better plan.
Okay. How do you see this tool evolving in the next 12 months?
We have big plans to in the next what would you call it? The next phases of the app, where I got plans to add AI models for cattle price forecasting, cattle valuation APIs, expense optimization, grazing estimates, and forecasting there. And then we're also building a financial education and onboarding videos for the users of the tool to give them help them along through this if they get stuck, and really understand the numbers that they're putting in and why they matter.
Excellent. Yeah, we've talked about some of those before, and yeah, let's see. Definitely, there's future in what we're building for sure.
Absolutely.
What advice do you have for CEOs considering internal tools?
I think if your software doesn't help you make better decisions, it's just an overhead. You can't settle for tools that aren't built for your operation. You got to own the systems that bring clarity to your numbers.
Amazing. I'll highlight that somewhere. Yeah. If another company is listening, maybe with a similar pain, it could be any company, not necessarily a ranch, what would be, and the similar pain would be tracking spreadsheets, just not having clarity on the numbers. What's your advice to them?
I would ask them if they know their gross margins by enterprises, if they can project cash flow, are they tracking the value created or just transactions? If the answer is no, I would say stop patching spreadsheets together and build a system that works for you.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're trying to help you out with, and we're getting somewhere for sure.
Yeah.
And the last question, would you hire Big House Technologies again?
Absolutely. I really feel like they didn't just help me build an app. They helped me build a system of thinking, and that changed everything, and I hope it helps a lot of people in a lot of operations.
Sweet. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's been amazing getting to know you and the cattle industry, and yeah, even as a person, right? We were talking about your family earlier. I don't have a family yet, but maybe one day I'll share some of that as well. But
absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add before you close? That was my last question.
The only thing I would add is I really hope that the tool helps other ranchers thrive, and this platform will give somebody, no matter where their location, in the Sandhills or the Panhandle of Texas, real clarity and control over their business, and that would be a success for me. I just want ranchers to really feel like they're running companies and not just surviving, and I think that with the help from Big House helping me build this tool, it's going to really help a lot of places.
Amazing. Great. Well, that's it for me. I'll close the interview, and thank you very much, Andres. And I'll chat to you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.